My name is Noel Wilkins. I'm Associate Provost here at the University of Mississippi.
And what's your involvement with Today?
Well, the question about Today is Today is a communication mechanism that's used by the entire campus. So Today has different functionality depending on the kinds of messages that people want to send out. Various groups on campus have that mechanism as a way to send email, as a way to communicate with various constituents, whether it be for courses, whether it be for campus events, things that are happening around campus, and of course emergency communications.
Okay, and how do you get the information for Today?
Are you talking in general, or are you talking about specifically with regard to one of those purposes? Because if it's for a piece of, if it's for a course or an instructor, then they would get information from that mechanism. If it's about an event, it would come from various sources. If it's about communications, then we have very specific channels through which information travels.
Okay, I guess I'm speaking specifically of the email blast that gets sent out every morning. So how exactly is the information for the email blast aggregated together?
That's a good question. That comes from all of the messages that are entered all over campus. So the messages that are entered all over campus come from faculty, they come from staff, they come from students who have access to Today. But specifically with regard to our campus constituents, if I were to enter a message about a campus event, then I would identify, when I enter that information into Today, I would identify which groups should have access to view that information. Once I select from the drop-down menus associated with the communication tool, then that appears in your inbox as a mail message that comes specifically from the system. So the Today messages that you get are going to be different from the messages that I receive. Also, the information would be appear when you log into My Ole Miss. So as you log into My Ole Miss, you'll see the Today messages that are aggregated for you. My main interaction with Today in the role of the Provost Office is to communicate university-wide events or university-wide information, and in my role with the Crisis Action Team to communicate emergency messages that need to go out in a quick fashion.
Okay, so you work with the crisis, like Rebel Alert, I guess.
I do. Rebel Alert is actually a text-based system that doesn't necessarily interface with Today, but the same sort of messages that go out through Today also go out via Rebel Alert, depending on the type of emergency that we're experiencing.
Okay, and about how long does it take for the Rebel Alerts to go from you typing in the message to it actually hitting our phones?
That's a good question, because it depends. It really depends on a number of things. The network traffic that's the network is experiencing, the connection between the service provider and your service provider for your phone service, and then the congestion on the service provider's network that you use. So we'll log into a system, enter the message, and hit send, and then it begins to make the connections like a big switch with all the various service providers. And so if I have a specific service, if there's a lot of congestion, I might get it a lot slower than you would on your service. So it just depends on that service and the amount of traffic at that particular time. We've seen the range be anywhere between 4 minutes to send 30,000 text messages to anywhere between 20 to 40 minutes to send 30,000 text messages. So it really just depends on the network and the connection between the switch and your service provider at that time.
Absolutely. And about how many students or faculty members or staff get these messages?
I would have to go back and look to see exactly how many are in each group. Again, you have to think about our campus having people with multiple roles. So, for example, you have a student role, you may have an employee role if you're a student worker, and then I have a faculty role, and I have an administrative role, and I have a role as an employee. So, depending on which group is selected when the text message is sent, we can customize that to different roles, and we can customize that to different areas of campus. If we were to send it to the entire university community, including all campus roles and all campuses, then it would go out to about 30,000 people.
Other email blast solutions such as like MailChimp or Constant Contact actually allow you to see how many people open up the email.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm curious about how many people, if you know, actually open up the emails.
That's something we don't know about text messages or about our email system, and that's largely based on the type of email client that we use on the campus. We do know that when we've linked to specific information that's called up or linked to an email, that we get a spike in the number of clicks on the information to find out more information. I can give you two specific examples. When we've sent out messages about tornado watches, we don't necessarily get a lot of clicks to the emergency website. We get some. We get a spike for sure, but we don't get as many as when we send out information updating the campus about bomb threats that might have been received or threatened in the area of Oxford. So we sent out information updating everybody about what we had experienced while other campuses were experiencing those, and we got a significant spike in the number of clicks to the emergency website to find out information about that. So it's difficult to say how many are actually going to click. It really depends on the type of emergency, the type of message that's being sent, and how many people are getting the message and are sitting at their desk at a time when they can actually click and follow the link. But we send that message out through Today, and when we do that, it hits your email box, it posts an alert on the emergency website, it shows up in the Today listing that you get when you log into My Ole Miss, it also tweets, and then it also will send out an app alert. So if you have the iPad app or the iPhone app, it'll bring up an alert on your phone as long as that function is enabled.
Well, thank you very much for meeting with me.
Sure, you bet. Happy to help.